Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of a Nation United Finland edition. In this episode, we go through the offseason and the summer of 2029. We have very much made it into the deep, I don't want to say the deep waters here, but my God, we're quite a bit far into the series. We're a ways into it at this point, but thankfully in this postseason I have a little bit more optimism than I did in last offseason, where we knew we had to blow up the team. Despite all the changes, of course, we made the playoffs. It wasn't the ending that I was hoping for. Of course, we ended up losing to the eventual Cup winner New Jersey Devils, but still, we know we have a couple of targets in the upcoming draft. We have an idea of a couple of the players that we want to move on from, and there might be some bigger moves on the horizon as well, depending on what free agency looks like. So we are going to get right down to business here because we have a lot ahead of us. Now, as far as who we are targeting here first, it is going to be the 15th ranked Jussi Niinimaa. That's at least by our scouting rank, he's 10th. So we're looking at 10, 12, and 14, ideally, are the picks that we'd be able to trade up to get. The question is whether or not the teams want to move them. Toronto doesn't, which is really going to screw with me. And I got to be honest, it's not worth it. I think the value that the player will have is likely to be less than what that pick is worth and what that pick is going to cost us. So I'm actually not going to go for that pick. Can we get the Winnipeg or Edmonton selection after it? We can't get Winnipeg's. Can we get Edmonton's selection? So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to pick most of these guys directly. Okay, we can get Edmonton's 12th overall pick, and that'll be the first selection that we target. Again, we have multiple picks in the first round, but 2 of them are in the bottom 5. So we'll try to trade the 29th pick. We know that we are moving on from at least 2 forwards. Well, at least 1. I'm still undecided on what to do with Rasmus Kupari, but we know that Ramo is on the way out. I just wasn't impressed with him this season. We gave him a couple of chances to succeed, and it just didn't happen. So we'll take on, not Silfverberg, but we'll take on Jared McCann, and obviously just immediately release him before the season begins. So can I safety net this with the 3rd round picks just to make sure we're not giving up too much? How about just 1 3rd round pick? Beautiful. So we end up trading up to get that selection from the Oilers, and we'll see if either Boston or Florida's pick is available as well. Boston's is not. The Panthers. The Panthers. Is your pick available? It is not. So what we'll do is we'll sim up to our first pick here, and then if a Finn goes off the board, we'll trade up to get him. So Niinimaa ended up going to Toronto. 64 overall, medium top 6. Now, he is still worth targeting for sure. He had 16 points in 52 games as a 17/18-year-old. So still going to be worth trading for, as we really just look to secure the future. We try to make sure that basically any half-decent Finn that shows up is eventually on our roster, at least we have access to. But yeah, you see his trade value compared to what it would have cost to get him otherwise. Wouldn't have been worth it at all. So let's go ahead, and really it shouldn't take too much else. That might be good enough on its own. It's not, but this will still be a hell of a lot cheaper of a price to pay. 1st and a 3rd, it would have been a lot more with them not wanting to move that pick. So we've acquired Niinimaa. Kiprusoff wasn't ours, unfortunately. No, he was. Wow, so Kipper went off the board early then. 72 overall, medium top 6. Damn. All right, let's call it. Well, actually, we don't even have to call a timeout here. Let's go talk to St. Louis. So only one of the Finns that we were looking at are still going to be on the board here. I wasn't expecting Kiprusoff to have that high a value. 17 years old, 72 overall. That is potentially going to be a useful player for us if this series goes even further into deep water. Is that enough? It is. I'll take it. That is fine by me. Might have been able to get a little bit more back than what we did. But Dow Cole was the top of this draft. Minnesota botched it. Oh my God. Not like it's looking like the strongest draft. I mean, Spezza was there too. Hedstrom, Packard, Apple. Okay, so yeah, it was just Kiprusoff and Niinimaa. That is incredibly weird, though, to see the top of that draft get botched that thoroughly. So we will take one of the two other Finns. That's really weird that there was a Finn that went very far off the board that I just wasn't paying attention to, apparently. But we will take UC Santoviori, who does have that A-grade shooting. Theo Fleury comparison. Santoviori, welcome aboard. 65 overall, medium, top 6. Not too shabby. So we have one other dude that we're going to want to try to trade up for here once the selection is made. If it's even made, and I think it was. Nurminen was selected. So he will be the target from the Blackhawks, unless he was terrible. He wasn't. He was medium 4. Okay. So let's go talk to Chicago. Although I do... Oh, wow, we're all the way into the second round. I thought I had one more first-round pick left. Apparently not. Apparently not. Whoops. I didn't accidentally give away 2 first-round picks, did I? Regardless, I'll be able to make this work. Let's just make sure that we get everybody here. It was Pispinen on Boston. Medium 4 and a 64. Let me just make sure he was the last one in that round. And I believe he was. Okay, so let's go make that trade with Boston. Again, any half-decent Finn, if we can acquire them, we're going to want to, even if they don't necessarily work out. So if I'm not mistaken, he was a defenseman. He is, and he should be relatively easy to get, but this is where someone like Rasmus Kupari being traded, that's where it might come in handy for us, to be honest. I think that's going to have to be done. I mean, again, he's going to be a bottom 6 guy for us. He's not bad, obviously, but he's not going to be a top 6 guy. We might as well make the most of that value. Will that go through 1 for 1? It will not. And he'll actually be a useful player for the Bruins, too, who have been pretty terrible throughout this series. Kupari in a 3rd? Beautiful. I'll take that. So Pispinen, welcome aboard. Let's double-check the second round. I'm going to have to call a timeout here soon. I hope it's only been that one Finn who was drafted. It hasn't been. Osala, who's terrible. Not terrible, but a medium top 6. So, no, thank you. It's not a player that we regret missing out on. And then Nurminen in Chicago. Okay, so we'll make that deal with the Blackhawks and then see if there's actually anybody worth selecting with the pick that we currently have. And then from there, it's pretty straightforward. But in terms of having extra value to go out and get anybody that we already know is established, I really don't think it's going to be there. Of course, Kupari was one of the 2 that I had in mind that we could get rid of no problem and get value back. It might be a little bit difficult actually to pull off this trade. Not to mention there's still the goaltender in this draft that we were looking at. But, I mean, some of the forwards, or some of the defensemen, I should say, mainly Tiervainen and Peltonen, I'm still a little bit unsold. But, I mean, they're kind of our best options right now. So, Kipper, Kapanen, Louis. You look at the value of Kiprusoff in comparison. Martins, we never really gave a shot to. We could also give up on Osplund if we wanted to. Martins or Osplund might be the guy. Suomela has some value left for no reason, and I need to see if I can pull off this trade here quickly. Suomela's deal is expiring. Okay, we got to back out and call a timeout. Kind of wish you could call a timeout from that screen. It would be nice. It's like, oh, hey, I'm trying to work on a trade. Here, let me back out from all the details because there isn't the option to call the timeout from here. Not sure how difficult that would be for them to program, but it would be pretty sweet, I gotta admit. So where? He's a defenseman, not a forward. Where is Nurminen? Nurminen. Let's go with... Oh, this is a tough one. You know what? Janila might not make it. I don't think he's going to, as a matter of fact. He's a 68 at 20 years old. I don't really like his chances to develop into a really strong player. I just don't. I think if we trade him for Nurminen, who's a 63 at 18 years old, if Nurminen gets on a better development path, I think we'll be looking pretty good. But it's still going to take Janila, you'd think, probably 3 seasons to go up another 10 overall points. I'm not liking it. So will that go through straight up? It will not, but I think this is the safer bet here go for the younger guy who you still don't know what he's going to provide. So we'll give up a ton of sixths. That is not enough. Sweeten it just a touch, they say. Right. Right. How about a fourth and a ton of sixths? And by a ton, I mean 3. Is that enough? Yes, it is. So we're looking good. Let's double check the draft class to see how many players we have left. And Lahunen's on the board, but of course we don't have him pinned. In terms of pinned players, just 2 left. Seikola and Lettinen, the grinder who was just okay. So it's the goaltender. He's the only one we got to worry about. We'll take him with this pick here. Probably take the medium 9 guy and be done with it. We pretty much had our target. So Petri Seikola, 902 save percentage. He's 19 years old, but we know, or at least we hope, he's going to be a confirmed medium elite. Don't be a low starter. That would be a disaster. Medium elite. He's a 58 at 19 years old, which is admittedly a little bit rough. That's not the best kind of setup there that we could have hoped for. And, of course, those low top 6s can kick rocks. We'll take Teemu Lettinen with this next pick. Just hope his overall's half decent. It is a 55, but still, I'm fine with that. That second-round pick didn't have too much value left. Let's go ahead and get rid of the rest of the picks that we have because we are done in this draft. Every half-decent Finn that was available is now an Espo Eagle, at least in terms of player rights. So, not too bad. Can I get a 5th rounder out of this? Probably not. No, we can. All right, cool. Thank you very much, Anaheim. So we are done. We only end up drafting 3 players ourselves. And, of course, those 3 weren't too bad. But it's more about who we added to this team in general with the trades. Now we go to the re-sign phase. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to try and send out some offers quickly before we got to the re-sign phase to try and save that little bit of extra money. Hit the wrong button. Oh well, it shouldn't screw us over that much, I would hope. So goaltenders, I mean, why waste time? We already know, for the most part, who the top goalies are going to be. Now, Kakkonen wants to sign, so hopefully I don't have to send him, Husso, or Vevalainen any more money, but let's be honest, odds are there aren't going to be any better options out there on the free agent list. We'll see if they accept, although typically, even though they want to resign, I have to offer them more money, so we'll see what happens on that go-around. Defensively, oh boy, Sapasi Tiervainen. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. 21 points in the regular season. The plus-minus was brutal. So he's a 20-point defenseman. 4 points in 18 games in the playoffs at 28 years old. He's a top 6 defenseman. 2.5 is okay, but he doesn't want to re-sign. Do I want to pay a third pairing defenseman or a 20-point defenseman $3 million a season? I don't know if I do. And Pasi Vahalati takes way too many goddamn penalty minutes for me to even dare use him at the NHL level. It's just not going to happen at an 80 overall. There's just no way, unless he wants. He's not looking for much, but I think our defense is shaping up to be Peltonen, Tiervainen, Kurvainen, Virtanen, Ramo, and then whoever. I don't know who that whoever is going to be. I gotta be honest, I don't really think I want to pay nearly $3 million to Tiervainen and then whatever for Vahalati. So we're gonna let both of them go for now. Ramo will be there. If Niemelainen will sign a 2-way deal, which he won't, he would stay, but for now we're gonna drop him. Renanen, same thing. I don't really plan on using you as a third pairing guy. We'll see if there are any better options out there. I think for the moment, even though there's a good chance some of those guys are going to be coming back, we'll drop them for now. We'll bring back Pirnez, and we'll bring back Robin Salo, but we'll have to double check some of the other contracts. So defensively, it's Ramo, Viitanen, Pispinen, and Nurminen. That is it in terms of defensive prospects. And you got to remember, there's nobody better out there. That's the sad thing. Kari Ramo was the guy, the best prospect that we could target. He was selected by the Rangers. it's a really bad situation on defense for us. And as far as the forwards are concerned, I definitely want to bring back Vicola, just in case he doesn't want to re-sign. So we'll go 1 year at 1.9 and see if that's enough. I want to bring back Lamala as well, just in case. But Juho Lamiko can go for now. Nordgren, Nurmi, I mean, most of these guys I know I'm probably going to have to bring back, and I'll jump cut it at that time. But we're going to drop them for now. And left side, Mika Pirnez, we're going to bring back. I think, again, try to go short term. I don't know if he wanted to re-sign or not. He didn't, but we'll try to bring him back. Otto Koivula, someone who's been in and out of the lineup over the past few seasons. We'll give him 175. Sampo Ranta will drop for now. Tuomainen will drop for now. And from there, we're okay. And then centers, Hämäläinen will be staying. He wants a little bit more than what I was hoping for. See if 2.4 is enough. Suomela, we're going to drop. It's just not going to happen with him. Martens, we will keep. 1 year deal works for me. Marcus Granlund, I believe it was. It might have been McHale. He'll be gone. Rupints will be gone for now. And again, decent chance of me bringing back the majority of these guys, but for now we'll let them go. And there we go. We're set. So hopefully everybody re-signs. We can keep this re-sign phase, short and sweet. I'll focus on scouts once we get to the, beginning of free agency. Martin signs. Koivula rejects. Hämäläinen rejects. Case in point. I feel like the vast majority of the time, granted 2 out of 3 goalies accepted, I don't know. I feel like it's still a bit too hit or miss when it comes to guys who want to re-sign. You just give them what they want and they still ask for more. I feel like that's a little bit too hit or miss still. So, Capo Kakkonen, we're going to have to give you a little bit more money. Hopefully that is enough. Take that damn smirk off your face. Hämäläinen, we're going to have a lot of money left over too, so we can afford to overpay these guys for the season. Not by too much, because that will kill their trade value if we decide to get rid of them, but still enough to hopefully have them sign immediately, and then we don't have to waste any more time. That would be great, because we don't know what lies ahead in terms of free agency. The hope is that there's a veteran, mainly defenseman, that we could pick up, although I don't know what the odds of that happen to be. Like, we know that Olli Juolevi was signed for a decent amount of time. Some of the other guys we were looking at are signed for a decent amount of time, so I don't know how good the odds on us getting help via free agency is, and the main victim of that will be the defense, as we still have players rejecting. Okay, that's great. That's fun. That's not tedious at all. How much goddamn money do I have to offer them is the question. Mika Pirnez, did I not offer you? I offered you like close to $3 million, man. What the hell are you doing? That better be enough. My God. Vicola, we'll offer you freaking close to $3 million, just because I really don't want to have to do this for a third time. Otto Koivula was definitely in line to make a lot of money, but here, make even more. Lamala, will offer you close to $2 million. And Pirnez, who's pretty much just going to be a depth option. Give you a damn one-way contract because you apparently don't want to sign the two-way deal. Is that enough? Because, again, I have enough tedious stuff to do with filling out a roster. Nobody better. Oh, my God. Imagine somebody rejecting a contract that's that far above what they want. Screw it. Pirnez, you're gone. Screw you. You're just a random filler player who I'll probably end up re-signing anyway. So screw it, you can go. I want to see what free agency looks like here in July of 2029. And I want to see just how much we have to do. Although, free agent-wise, I need to sign... I don't even necessarily need to sign 6 people. I don't. I still will for the hell of it, and we're just going to assign them all to Finland, of course. It's the unfortunate thing is that Swedes will show up in Finland, but Finns so rarely appear in Sweden. It's just funny how that works in this game. It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. I mean, like, is the argument that, like, in fairness, hey, maybe it's correct. Maybe more Swedes do go over to Liga then Finns go over to the SHL. That could very well be true. I'm just saying, it seems kind of weird. That's all. Is that Justin Falk? That is Justin Falk. Cool. Be nice if there were pictures there and it would still just be his old picture, but there you go. Those will be the 6 that we look to target. Justin Falk will be living over in Sweden before you know it. So let's take a look. Free agency, what are we dealing with? Well, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Capo Caco and Roddy. I know I'm not pronouncing his name correctly. At this point, I don't care. And we have the money for both of them. Jack Hughes is also there. Goaltending-wise, oh my God. Ukalaxo is there. Whew. This just got very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Kai Puka. Did we draft Kai Puka? Yes, we did. 6th round pick. Be cool to bring him back. Well, as much as I trust Hakkarainen, sending money Laxo's way just makes all the sense in the world. So we'll try to give him $10 million over the next 7. 10-5. Let's offer him $1 million more than what he's hoping for. $1 million more than the asking price and hope that that's enough. Do we have any goaltending prospects? It's not looking good. There are only 3 guys here. Yeah, it's no bueno. Defensively. Verata, who's not going to be available, of course. And a medium 4. Yeah, there's no Finns there. You got Lettinen at a low 4, but that's brutal. And in terms of defensive help, it's just not there. Lepisto is available. Whether or not he's worth signing is the question. And then Petri Nokalainen, our original draftee, is there. That would be a very interesting move to bring Nokalainen back for that 3rd pairing. Then you also have Sarenheimo and Kuka. So let's take a look here at Mikko Lepisto, who was an LA Kings 1st round pick back in the day. He is not a big point getter at all. The plus-minus has been brutal. He's solid defensively. It's just that the offensive awareness sucks. He can pass the puck. He's physical. But do we want to pay $5 million for someone who can't really put up points? I don't think we do. That's the issue. That is just too much for a defenseman who's almost exclusively shut down role. That's too much. Nokalainen would be a 3.3. 28-point season. He's capable of 20 points. Not really a master of anything, just fairly well-rounded. But again, 3.3 for a 20-point defense. I mean, you'd almost want to sign him and then trade away someone we already have. And then there was also, a bit further down, Sarenheimo, who isn't great. I mean, defensive and physical. The guy can't skate to save his life. It's a 10-point defenseman. And then we have Kuka and Tiervainen as well. Kuka's 13 to 20 points. It's like you'd almost rather sign someone like Kuka, because at least he can put up the same amount of points. He might not be as good in a shutdown role, but he's also a little bit cheaper. So I can't say I'm not intrigued in adding a defenseman. Obviously, Roddy and Kapokako being there make this a little bit more interesting. Although those are players that we've had before that have done nothing for us. We never won with Kapokako. But if you look at the defense as it stands, we need one more person, ideally. Now, we have Kervinen, who's making $4 million a season, but he can at least put up 30 points. So it's kind of, it's like, yeah, he's probably worth having. Matty Virtanen put up 30 points this past year. Tervainen put up 15 points and is making $6 million. So that's the argument. We go out and sign one of the free agents who puts up a little bit more and then sign Tervainen or trade Tervainen. And then Tuomo Peltonen, the big issue with him, or at least last season, was penalty minutes. I don't know what the hell happened to him in terms of penalty minutes, but was absolutely brutal, but he's also capable of putting up 20 points for $5 million. 525 to be exact. Now, as far as where the rest of the money is, I mean, it's mainly coming from the defense. Kapanen's making 6, Lambert's at 5, Jokinen's at 5, and then we got a bunch of players on like $2 million here and there. But a lot of them are on one-year deals that we just re-signed. So it's tough to say that we couldn't go or shouldn't go for one of the two big-time forwards that are there. But obviously the defensive help is right there for the taking, and that's really what we need on paper. And I mean, you want to talk about picking up Loxo. I mean, if we do, there's a flip option available for either of our two goalies. But again, looking here with like Lepisto, I mean, he's a slight discount on the guy we have, although again, he can't put up points. He's just not worth it. Like, changing him to a two-way, though, might change his game around, but that is a major risk if we were to go for him. And then again, forward-wise, Kakko's there, Roddy's there. Jeff Skinner's still playing at 37. Do we have any other notable Finns here? It's not looking likely, but we should double check. I don't think Sidhu's available. Elias Sidhu, he is American. Henrik Borgstrom is there, but obviously, you know, is that really worth it? I'm probably going to say no. I mean, 40-point guy for $3 million. It's not too bad. I mean, we've had him on the team before, but we got players now who can do that. And, of course, we have them on team-friendly deals, at least for the moment. So I don't really think there's anybody else there that's all that interesting to us. I don't think any of those... Hämäläinen, actually. We'll absolutely go for Pasi Hämäläinen, the low elite. Hopefully no other teams are in on him, but 19 years old, 61 overall low elite is pretty good. And then Nightingale, Nikitin, Clapperton, Havlet, and Omen, high note. A lot of mid-20s here. Nicholas Berg, and yeah, just a bunch of low 6s. Oh man, it's Kakko, it's Roddy, and we could technically go for all three of the ones that we've gone for if we move somebody else, although even then, that would be pretty rough. Kakko. Only had 58 points last year. You know, I'm not going for him. There's no way. There is no way. So his struggles, his inconsistency has continued even after he left the team. So I don't know what's going wrong with, what's going wrong with him, but I'm not doing that. The only reason to do that would be to have the trade value to be able to move. But then you have Aatu Roddy, 74 points. He's at least a little bit more consistent, was the #1 overall pick of the Blues. Listed as a sniper, but you change him to a playmaker, and my God, you're laughing all the way to the bank. It's just, do I trust any of those defensemen to be what we need? And the problem is, I don't think I do. I really don't. Like, Nokalainen's not too bad, right? I mean, for his price, I guess, but I really don't want to be paying a third pairing guy all that much money. I don't think I will. So forward-wise, I think we send a deal out for Roddy. The more term, the more he wants. So it is going to be 5 years. We'll try for 925. And those will be the starting targets. Depending on what they do, it can open up different trade avenues if they sign. Of course, we're also going to have the scouts accepting contracts. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens here with Roddy and with as a goaltender. Hämäläinen did sign. Not surprising to see him sign first. Here we go. LeBlanc signs. Still no answer. We go to the 5th. Roddy has signed. I'll try to remember how to say his name correctly by the end of this. I'm well aware of Elite Prospects pronunciations. And Loxo has signed as well. So 2 major free agent signings. That leaves us with under $3 million in cap space. 2.685 to be exact. And it really does give us options. Because now we actually have some goaltenders who have some value. Although with Loxo, obviously the amount that he's making is extremely detrimental. But we could use him to trade him. I mean, you know, we could use him. We could use that value. I mean, he's a solid goalie for sure. And we probably, with hindsight, should have kept him rather than taking the shortcut and going with Luukkonen. It's just, do I trust Hakkarainen? The issue with Loxo is that he's making $10 million. And do I think we can win with Hakkarainen in the next 2 seasons? I don't know if we can. But I think it's a safer bet. You know, I think we go out, we use Loxo's trade value. Hell, we could even use Roddy's trade value. Go out, maybe improve the defense, and take it from there. We're not going to be able to sign anybody else, although I am wondering if Kaapo Kakko has signed. If he has, then at least we know all of our options have been exhausted. He has signed. Okay. So at least we know. So when it comes to, because again, clearly where we need help is defense still, because the players throughout this series just haven't shown up. They haven't been generated. Let's take a look one more time at the top-rated defenseman, which right now in the league still, or it's Quinn Hughes, and then Olli Levy's still there at 31 on Arizona, still on a sweetheart contract compared to what he could be making. Charlie McAvoy on the Islanders, that hurts my eyes. And then the next highest rated Finn is Tuomas Heikkila on the Rangers. If I were to go and get you Levy and Heikkila, number one, could I? Could I do that is the question. But better yet, could I? Now, Arizona can't retain cap, but that's okay. I like Aatu Raty, but I also like the players that we already have, and I like improving that defense. I mean, we could have Ramo, Virtanen, and either Kervainen on that third pairing. Tyrväinen making 6, though, is scary. And you have Peltonen at 5.25. He's a 20-point defenseman at best, and he's not going to get better at this point. And then Tommy Tyrväinen is a 20-point defenseman at best. I think we try to regain Heikkila and Juolevi. We give up Peltonen and Tyrväinen in the deal as well to clear cap, and then we have Kervainen and Virtanen on the second pairing, and then somebody with Ramo. I think we use our 2 new signings to go out and get improvements on defense again. And at least that way we have... I don't know if that's the right call or not, but again, Tyrväinen makes too much money. I was hoping with both of them being low elites that it would be better. It's not. I like Roddy a lot, but him on the second pairing, I gotta be honest, I like the other options that we have. I don't want to use Jokela, especially too for how much Jokela is making. And again, Roddy's on a pretty good deal, but Brad Lambert and Jokela are gonna have to be paid next season. So with that, Arizona would be over the cap. Not that I plan on retaining at all, because that's just not a part of the deal. Do they have anybody who's cheap, who's making money, that we could flip? Like a Hillman's perfect. Is that enough? It's not. Arizona would still be too far over the cap. Perunovic, Trouba. That Trouba deal would be tough to move. My God, they have some... Okay, that's the issue, is their goaltending. They just signed Filatov, even though they have Spencer Knight. Wasn't Spencer Knight... Did they just sign 2 top goalies? I think they just signed both of these goaltenders. My God, and they're paying Huska $7 million. Yet he's not on the trade block. This game, man. This game. The AI logic needs to be improved by so much. It's kind of sad how dumb the AI can be at times. So here's the deal, though, right? They have 6 million in space, apparently. I don't know how I'm gonna do this now. Say I just use Roddy, which would suck, but I could use draft picks and then recoup draft picks and follow-up deals, because we do have Detroit's first-round pick as well. So let's say I use Roddy in our first. There's no way this is going to be good enough. But say, and actually, I could now get them to try and retain salary on Olli Juolevi, which you think might be overkill. And it probably is. But again, we have some big contracts coming up. That would be extremely helpful. And again, whatever draft picks I have to give up to make this happen would be worth it. We can recoup them in numerous different ways. 2 first-rounders. Rejected still. They're on to me as far as this not factoring into their trade block at all. There's another second-rounder. This one from New York, enough. God, we have all the second-round picks in the world. Yeah, see, this isn't going to work exactly without adding in extra players to the deal, like Tiervainen and Peltonen. So that would obviously have them be a decent ways over the cap. But if there's anybody that I can add, like I said, who has low value, like a Trouba, would that work? Yes, it would. I might have trouble flipping Trouba, but this would be sweet if this worked. I'm going to safety net this just a little bit. And again, like how Trouba has any trade value whatsoever, I don't understand. Alright, so that didn't go through. What about now? Still no. And of course, we'll start using picks to try and make this happen. Will that go through? No, it won't. Will this go through? No, it won't. And that means I highly doubt this goes through either. I might not be able to pull this off, and if I can't, it's not the worst case scenario to have Roddy and 2 really good goaltenders. If this isn't meant to be, that is not the worst case scenario, because forward-wise, we would have 9, 10, 11, and 12 with Vicola, and then guys like Piernez, Martins, we just see where they are. So, I mean, that would be a fairly ridiculous group of forwards, where you probably have Kapanen in the top 6, but then like Kiprusoff, Norden, and Asplund would make up that third line. It's just, again, the defense would be a little bit too weak, and I want to get out from these bad contracts. Now, again, Olli Juolevi at 7 honestly isn't that bad, but him on 3.75 is outrageous. It's just, I don't see how we get there, because their cap situation is horrific, because they're extremely dumb and signed multiple goaltenders that they should not have signed. And Filatov's just going to have way too much trade value, even though they have him on the block. But I wonder just how negative is Filatov's value? How negative is it? I highly doubt it's any more negative than what we have. But you know what? It's worth a shot. Please? No. Is there any way to pull off this deal? I just don't think there is. Just with Arizona's cap situation, it just doesn't look good. And again, they just absolutely shot themselves in the foot with the deals they just signed in terms of having any cap space. At least for me to be able to work out a deal. And Trouba's not even worth that much. You would think I could get that to go through. I don't want to have to use anybody else of overly positive value. And I can't throw Tyrväinen into the trade as well because he's worth far too much. I obviously don't want to throw Ramo into the mix because he's one of our go-tos. That Kiprusoff kid, Viitanen's way too good. I mean, I'm looking at any, like, Santaviori we could sacrifice, but I imagine he'd be at the same place as some of those other guys are eventually. And now you're getting down to the point where these guys, you know, have about the same value as a first-round pick. I really want to see if we can work out these deals, though. Maybe we'll come back to them. Let's go to the Rangers and see if we can work out a deal for Thomas Heikola, who is making 8. Again, I would absolutely want him on $4 million. It would be just a ridiculous steal. If I really wanted to cheese this, I could drop the trade difficulty down to easy and get these to go through fairly quickly. Now, the Rangers have all the cap space in the world. That's not going to go through on its own, or at least I don't expect it to. Still going to safety net it just in case, because value is value. Will that go through? No, it won't. How about now? Still no. So they would have accepted that, but they won't because of the salary retention, which is fine. We have second-round picks and other things that we can add. So no doubt, Roddy and Peltonen are going to be flipped to the Rangers. We're going to get Thomas Heikola. So, I mean, I'm having to use Aatu Roddy to do this in draft picks, but it's worth it to get a defenseman. I mean, we're going to be paying Heikola less than Peltonen if we can get this to go through. It's going to be tough. Might have to use the firsts. Can we get this to go through? Come on, New York. You know you want to do this. You know you do. Accept the cheese in your life. The beautiful, beautiful cheese. Accept it. Please? Oh, God, the menu lag. You're the worst. You're the worst. Add Roddy back to the deal. Come on, New York. Come on. Really, though? Really? You won't accept this? Come on, New York. You know you want to. Please? I mean, come on. 2 firsts, a solid defenseman yet overpaid, Roddy, and a second? That's not enough, huh? I'll leverage another first-round pick. You're doing this. You're not going to do that because you don't want to retain $4 million. That is disgraceful. What if I slightly lower the amount? Which means now value-wise, I'm probably just going to, you know, this is just going to kick my ass. 3.5? I cannot believe it. I cannot believe. You know what? I honestly don't care. I honestly don't care. I never turn the trade difficulty down. I'm doing it this time. I'm doing it. You're telling me any GM in the world, especially when you see the likes of Stan Bowman and Jim Rutherford, you're telling me that any GM in the world is going to deny that over $4 million? Like, I know, like it's $4 million and it's, you know, over this many years. I don't care. You get Roddy, a defenseman to replace him, and 3 first-round picks. You just got to worry about $4 million. You're taking that deal every day of the week, and you know you are. So screw it. Call it me getting desperate. Call it what you want. You're probably right. But I am getting Thomas Heikola on half value. End of story. It needs to be done. And then, damn it, we're going right back after Uljallevi, because I couldn't tolerate these guys for the amount that they were getting paid, but I can tolerate them on their reduced salaries. So let's just go ahead and safety net this here trade here really quickly. Even though there's not much to safety net it with. So I'll just do that. See what the game thinks. Still rejected. That's fine. What about now? They would have accepted that. What about now? Still? Come on. Come on. 3rd rounder? Please? Okay, you're accepting this, though. You are. You're doing it. Take our 2nd rounder. I can't believe they're still rejecting this. This is easy trade difficulty and they're still rejecting? Are you serious? 2 seconds. I am going to lose my mind. Accept the trade, you nerds. Thank you. So Roddy, I think it was Peltonen, and 3 seconds to the New York Rangers. We reacquire Thomas Hikola, but on half salary, because damn it, we're desperate. This would have gone into fully ridiculous territory had Kaapo Kakko still been available, because I would have kept him. I would have kept him on this team. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Would have kept him on this team, and we'd be laughing all the way to the bank. Or I would have dealt him and kept Aatu Roddy. So let's see what we can do here. So unfortunately, I mean, again, I like Laakso. I just don't know if I like him at 10-5, knowing that we have 2 more years of Hakkarainen. Like this, I think this is the decision right here. Our offense can survive without Roddy, but what goalie stays? And is it even possible for me to pull off this deal even on easy difficulty? Like that's the test. I think, can I somehow pull off this trade without using one of the 2 goaltenders? The only way I'd be able to is to use Sekola, which could come back to haunt me. But you know what? I don't think this series will still be a thing by the time Sekola's available. I think we try to use him to get this done. We keep both goaltenders and we just fucking go for it this year. And we hope for the best, because we're going to have to hope for the best. I think that's the game plan now. So let me just safety net that a little bit there. Rejected. How about just straight up? Still rejected. That's not surprising. We'll add some seconds. Still not enough. Obviously, we have the first round picks that we can use. I mean, this deal's going through. How about a first and a second? A first, 2 seconds, Sekola and Tyrväinen. Is that enough? It is not. Take out the extra second. Go with that other first. 2 firsts, a second, Sekola. Not enough. We'll go up to 3 first-round picks, damn it. See if I care. Will that go through? I cannot believe it. We're not even at the stage of like, yeah, we'd accept this, but we don't want to retain salary. They're just outright saying no. Are you serious? Oh my god. Like, I know he has full trade value and they don't want to move him, but god damn, guys. I know you're listed as champions too, so it makes all the sense in the world. But it's easy trade difficulty. That means I'm supposed to be able to fleece you whatever I want, essentially. Like, is that not what it says in writing? That's what I thought it always said. Do I use Niinimaa or Santaviori? Nermanen's at a 63. Maybe we use Nermanen, who's a little bit behind Piespanen. Although you could argue he's not worth more than the first round pick anyway. And he's not. I really want to be able to keep both goaltenders just in case. But then again, Hakkarainen, if we keep him and he's behind Laakso, is that going to work? I mean, having both goaltenders who are capable of getting us to the promised land, you'd like to think that would be enough. This sucks. This sucks. Do I use this Kiprusoff guy who's just an absolute beat? You know what? I mean, we have Osplund, we have Heino. Well, actually, both of them are already signed too. And we have Santaviori, Osplund, and Heino. I like the fact that Osplund has that shot. Heino doesn't have much going for him. Say we use Mika Heino, who again, I don't even know if he's worth more than 2 first-round picks. He's not. Jesus. Okay, what if we use really late-on first-round picks? The ones that we know are going to have value. In fairness, they all have about the same value. We know this isn't going to go through. It's going to take one of the better goaltenders. This is the decision. This is it. If I make the wrong choice here, we're not going to win the cup. It's either we keep Jukka Laakso, who we got rid of once upon a time, and who's been a solid goaltender since. Except in the playoffs, he's a little bit shaky. Or we go with the still developing Juha Hakkarainen, who did pretty damn well for us in the playoffs, all things considered. Do we trust Hakkarainen or do we trust Laakso? I think I'm going to trust Hakkarainen. Now, Arizona would be over the cap by a decent amount because of this, which sucks. And that means we got to work Trouba into the trade again. And then hopefully we can flip him. Even then, they would still be over. So we'll also try to work in Eric Bronstrom. Still over. Jesus. So Bronstrom and Galchenyuk. Still over? Game, I think you're lying. I think you're lying to me right now. If you be honest, I won't be mad, but I'm still going to be disappointed that you lied to me. Jesus. So that's really going to hurt the value because we're going to have to add somebody half decent, like Perunovic, to the deal. That's the only way that's going to work, and then we'll try to flip those two. I don't know if Hakkarainen's the guy. But in case this does go beyond the next 2 seasons, I mean, you got to think of the money that's there. Will that go through? Not yet. Dude, if I can't get this to go through, I mean, damn. Like, I don't need Olli Juolevi on half salary. I just want him on half salary. I can't get him on reduced salary, apparently. I can't get him. The point was to try and save a ridiculous amount of money. So let's drop him down to 37%. Still no. Just retain something. Anything. If I can get him under $6 million, it's so worth it. Come on, man. Come on. Like, this is unbelievable. Please? Okay, we're not going to be able to get Olli Juolevi on half salary. Yeah, they just outright refuse to retain. That's fine. You know what? We can deal with that. But if that's the case, then say we give up Saikola and we try to get this to go through now. So we take out Juolevi. We won't do any salary retention because that's just impossible, apparently. They refuse to break even on easy trade difficulty. How much is it going to take to get him? And the answer might be we simply can't. I mean, he does have a full value bar with them not wanting to trade him. Even though it's on easy, that doesn't guarantee anything. Like, I had the trade difficulties on easy or on hard for all of those other trades. No, that was not a Freudian slip. I just can't believe this isn't going through. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Olli Juolevi is just outright unobtainable. They just are not going to move him. Unless the value... Hakkarainen's value isn't even that much more. And then Laakso, of course, you're dealing with the fact that they can't afford it. Like, can I even get this to go through now? So say... Oh, God, that's right. I have to add, like, Trouba to the deal again. Boy, what a pain this has turned into. So we add Trouba. Will that go through? No. I can't get Olli Juolevi. And again, there really wasn't anybody else out there who was worth getting. Now, I could keep who we have. I didn't even mean to go to the trade block. I could keep who we have, but it's not ideal. And again, like, the only other guy who's going to be out there is like Rasmus Ristolainen. That's it. There aren't any other top-notch Finnish defensemen. I mean, it's nice that we got Hikola back, but Arizona is just not giving up on Olli Juolevi. They just outright refuse to do that. So in terms of who else we have for options, I just don't know. Are there any other Finns? Again, Risto's the only one. He's 34. We've trusted him before. If I could get Washington to retain salary, I'd be okay with it because we could still get him for cheap. You have Miro Heiskanen, who just never turned into like a true number 2 defenseman. And then Yoki Haru, the newest Buffalo Sabre. So we're looking at Washington or Dallas from the looks of it. As brutal as that is, I cannot believe that they did not give up Olli Juolevi no matter what the hell I did. That is absolutely insane. And it makes me wonder whether or not this is the right choice. I mean, they want to trade Risto too. Okay, well, we're going to get Rasmus Ristolainen back because I should be able to get him on half salary. We should just be able to do the player flip. And then to be honest, I think we're going to keep both goaltenders for now. Because like I said with Saikala, I just don't think by the time this series is a wrap, whether we're successful or not, that he's going to be a factor yet. So say we move Tiervainen and Saikala to get this deal done. We will we will not. We will regroup some draft picks just to play it safe. Although that extra second and third's unlikely to go through, I'd think. Yeah, take out that second. So they would have accepted it. Take that out. Take that out. Take that second out. So they accept it. They just don't want to retain. They're going to retain. With his age, they're going to retain. You have no choice. So there we go. We've dealt Tiervainen, and the goaltender we just drafted, we have reacquired Rasmus Ristolainen on half salary. So we're now paying Hikola and Risto $7.2 million combined, and we are going to trust these two guys to try and lead the defense. And the big question mark here is in goal. What the hell do we do? Because I don't really know. And I mean, forward-wise or defensively, we still need to look to acquire somebody. Forward-wise, we're good to go. I mean, right there, Pirnez up would be our top 12. And then, of course, we have Lamala, Koivula, Martins in the system. So we also have $15 million in cap space left. So you see what I mean as far as, hey, if Capo Caco's there, craziness continues, because odds are if Capo Caco was there, I'd be going out and throwing even more value at the problem. Let's just take one more look here before we jump cut to the beginning of the next season, although I might just end the episode before we even get there, just because there's going to be a lot of downtime in terms of making moves, and you can already kind of tell what the team's going to look like. Although we do now have the cap to bring in someone like Nokalainen. And to be honest, I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer Nokalainen a one-year deal. We're just going to throw a lot of money at him for this one season. And I think with Sarin, Haimo, and Kuka, the other Tiervainen as well, I'm just going to throw a bunch of money towards the defense. And then that way, if someone's not working out, we at least have other options, and they're all in one-year deals. So that is going to be the plan. Sarin Haimo, same thing. We'll throw you about $3 million. And like I said, if none of these guys are working out for us, so be it. Let them go at the end of the year, because their trade values will be pretty diminished by us just throwing money their way. So how I wish Capo Caco was still there so we could pick him up and deal him. That is pretty much going to be the strategy. So now we will end it here. I'll have this roster fully organized by the time we are ready to return. But let me know what you think. Was that the right idea as far as abusing Aturati's value, or did I make a mistake by not holding on to him in the first place? And let me know as well, as far as both goalies are concerned, what do you think? Is that the right decision? And who do we trust to get us to the promised land? As again, we have 2 or 3 seasons, I think, at most left in the series. I'll see you guys in the next one as we're ready to begin the 2029-2030 season. Oh, God.